Gingrich made an appearance on The View to discuss a number of topics, but in this next video we're going to show you, they are going to discuss Donald Trump's statement on Twitter comparing his treatment by Democrats in this impeachment investigation to a lynching.
This was not a good choice of words for him, do you think?
Well, it's exactly the same term that Clarence Thomas used when he said he was guilty of a white-collar lynching.
Right, but was it right then?
Oh, I think it was right then, sure. I mean, I think, look, put yourself, and this is really a big leap, but put yourself for a second in Trump's shoes. Okay, you got beaten up for over 2 years. You got beaten up for over 2 years with the Mueller thing. You start to relax. All of a sudden, there's this whole new wave of things. And I think part of what you have is a guy here who's just really deeply frustrated that no matter where he turns, the fight keeps going on.
All right, so let's break this down one by one. Clarence Thomas is also a Republican. So he's like, oh, well, remember when the other Republican used it unfairly? I'm not sure how that's a good defense. Now, he's on the Supreme Court. He is African American, so that's why he hid behind that term like a coward. And I'll tell you why I say that. Because Clarence Thomas is famous for and got picked for that seat for being against other African Americans. He was against affirmative action. He was against almost every form of assistance to African Americans. And they wanted to insult Thurgood Marshall, who was a lion for African Americans, who was a true hero of this country, by putting Clarence Thomas in that seat and winking and going, yeah, but he's black. See, oh, we did identity politics. And Clarence Thomas did then, and to this day continues to do, things that the white man wants. So, hey, make sure you rule against every African American in almost every case. And he does, and then he turns around when he is criticized for the sexual harassment he most clearly did to Anita Hill, among others. He then turns around and goes, oh, I'm the victim of a high-tech lynching. But wait a minute, when other African Americans complained about lynching, complained about all the legitimate crimes that they have suffered throughout these years, you weren't there to defend them. You did the opposite. You defended the conservatives who did all that stuff. You say, oh, poor misunderstood white conservatives. But when your ass was on the line, all of a sudden, high-tech lynching. So now Newt Gingrich takes that horrible piece of history and goes, well, since another unsavory Republican did it before, when this unsavory Republican does it, you should excuse it, okay? No, I don't think it works that way. Second of all, look at not just the optics, but the reality and the substance of this racist Republican lecturing two African American women about lynchings. Really?
So the video continued with Abby Huntsman saying, well, didn't Trump bring this upon himself? And Newt Gingrich says, well, yeah, sure. And then there was no follow-up question to that, right? So it is incredible that you have this long line of Republican lawmakers, and in the case of Newt Gingrich, an irrelevant conservative, he's not even in government anymore. I don't know why he's invited on a show. Like, is Newt Gingrich like a big draw for an audience?
No,
I don't really understand.
It's the elites. They think, oh, well, everybody in my cocktail party talks about Newt Gingrich. No one in the country likes Newt Gingrich. Even Republicans don't like Newt Gingrich. You think he's a ratings draw? No, he's an idiot and a monster. But hey, no, we can't have any progressives on. But hey, let's bring on all of the Republicans, a parade of Republicans. We're neutral. Okay, you shouldn't be neutral to topics like lynchings. It's not a thing to be neutral about. So, but I'm not done with Newt Gingrich. Newt Gingrich says that if you try to impeach Donald Trump for breaking 4 different crimes, that's a lynching. But he impeached Bill Clinton. He impeached Bill Clinton over oral sex. Now, for those of you who weren't around at the time and don't know the history of it, the Republicans started that investigation based on a real estate deal in Arkansas. At the end, Ken Starr, the guy who actually did a witch hunt against Bill Clinton, said, oh no, he was totally innocent of the real estate deal. There was nothing wrong with the real estate deal at all. But while I was looking at the real estate deal, I asked every question I could. I dug under every rock there was, and I found that Bill Clinton had an affair that was not at all illegal. But hey, it was an affair, and I got him to say that he didn't have the affair on the record. Boom! Crime! And Newt Gingrich was the guy who did that impeachment. And Newt Gingrich, at the time, while impeaching Bill Clinton for having an affair, was having an affair. And if you don't know this story, he was cheating on his second wife with the person that would now become his third wife. And if you don't remember, he left his first wife while she was on a hospital bed and said, compared her to a used car.
Oh, God. No matter how many times I hear that story, it's terrible. Like it's horrible, and it feels like I've heard it for the first time every time.
So The View has this guy on to lecture us about lynchings and how the Democrats are abusing their power to do impeachment. Why don't you spit in our face while you're doing it? Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.